Hi there, welcome. You've entered your favorite, safe, quiet corner of the internet. I want you to shake the day off because the world can wait. Now please take a deep breath in with me and out. Thank you. But beneath the rougher sea, Mr. Ramsay murmured. He had found the house, and so seeing it, he had also seen himself there. He had seen himself walking on the terrace, alone. He was walking up and down between the urns, and he seemed to himself very old and bowed. Sitting in the boat, he bowed. He crouched himself, acting instantly his part, the part of a desolate man, widowed, bereft, and so called up before him and house people sympathizing with him, staged for himself, as he sat in the boat, a little drama, which required of him decrepitude and exhaustion and sorrow. He raised his hands and looked at the thinness of them to confirm his dream, and then there was given him an abundance woman's sympathy, and he imagined how they would soothe him and sympathize with him, and so getting in his dream some reflection of the exquisite pleasure women's sympathy was to him. He sighed and said gently and mournfully, "But I, beneath the rougher sea, was whelmed in deeper gulfs than he." So that the mournful words were heard quite clearly by them all. Cam half started on her seat. It shocked her. It outraged her. The movement roused her father, and he shuddered and broke off, exclaiming, "Look, look," so urgently that James also turned his head to look over his shoulder at the island. They all looked. They looked at the island, but Cam could see nothing. She was thinking how all those paths and the lawn, thick and knotted with the lives they had lived there, were gone, were rubbed out, were past, were unreal. And now this was real. The boat and the sail with its patch, McAllister with his earrings, the noise of the waves, all this was real. Thinking thus, she murmured to herself, "We perished, each alone." For her father's words broke and broke again in her mind, when her father, seeing her gazing so vaguely, began to tease her. "Didn't she know the points of the compass?" he asked. "Didn't she know the north from the south? Did she really think they lived right out there?" And he pointed again and showed her where their house was. There, by those trees. He wished she would try to be more accurate. He said, "Tell me, which is east, which is west?" He said, half laughing at her, half scolding her. For he could not understand the state of mind of anyone, not absolutely imbecile, who did not know the points of the compass. Yet she did not know, and seeing her gazing, with her vague, now rather frightened eyes, fixed where no house was, Mr. Ramsay forgot his dream. how he walked up and down between the urns on the terrace, how the arms were stretched out to him. He thought, women are always like this. The vagueness of their minds is hopeless. It was a thing he had never been able to understand. But so it was. It had been so with her, his wife. They could not keep anything clearly fixed in their minds, but it had been wrong to be angry with her. Moreover, did he not rather like this vagueness in women? It was part of their extraordinary charm. I will make her smile at me, he thought. She looks frightened. She was so silent. He clutched his fingers and determined that his voice and his face and all the quick expressive gestures which had been at his command making people pity him and praise him all these years should subdue themselves. He would make her smile at him. He would find some simple, easy thing to say to her. But what? For, wrapped up in his work as he was, he forgot this sort of thing once said. There was a puppy. They had a puppy. Who was looking after the puppy today? He asked. Yes, thought James pitilessly, seeing his sister's head against the sail. Now she will give way. I shall be able to fight the tyrant alone. The compact would be left to him to carry out. Cam would never resist tyranny to the death, he thought grimly, watching her face, sad, sulky, yielding. And as sometimes happens when a cloud falls on a green hillside, and gravity descends, and there among all the surrounding hills is gloom and sorrow. And it seems as if the hills themselves must ponder the fate of the clouded, the darkened, either in pity or maliciously rejoicing in her dismay. The Cam now felt herself overcast as she sat there among calm, resolute people and wondered how to answer her father about the puppy, how to resist his entreaty. Forgive me, care for me. While James, the lawgiver, with the tablets of eternal wisdom laid upon his knee, his hand on the tiller had become symbolical to her. Said, resist him, fight him. He said so rightly, justly, for they must fight the tyranny to the death, she thought. Of all human qualities, she reverenced justice most. Her brother was most godlike, her father most suppliant, and to which did she yield, she thought, sitting between them, gazing at the shore whose points were all unknown to her, and thinking how the lawn and the terrace and the house were smoothed away now, and peace dwelt there. Jasper, she said sullenly. He'd look after the puppy. And what was she going to call him? Her father persisted. He had a dog when he was a little boy called Frisk. She'll give way, James thought, as he watched the look upon her face. A look he remembered. They looked down, he thought, at their netting or something. Then suddenly they looked up. There was a flash of the blue, he remembered. And then somebody sitting with him laughed, surrendered, and he was very angry. It must have been his mother, he thought, sitting on a low chair, with his father standing over her. He began to search among the infinite series of impressions which time had laid down, leaf upon leaf, fold upon fold, softly, incessantly upon his brain, among scents, sounds, voices, harsh, hollow, sweet, and lights passing, and brooms tapping, and the wash and hush of the sea. How a man has marched up and down and stopped dead, upright over them. Meanwhile, he noticed Cam dabbled her fingers in the water and stared at the shore and said nothing. No, she won't give way, he thought. She's different, he thought. Well, if Cam would not answer him, he would not bother her, Mr. Ramsay decided, feeling his pocket for a book. But she would answer him. She wished passionately to move some obstacle that lay upon her tongue and to say, "Oh yes, Frisk. I'll call him Frisk." She wanted even to say, "Was that the dog that found its way over the moor alone?" But try as she might, she could think of nothing to say like that. Fierce and loyal to the compact, yet passing on to her father, unsuspected by James, a private token of the love she felt for him. For she thought, dabbling her hand, and how McAllister's boy had caught a mackerel and it lay kicking on the floor with blood on its grills. For she thought, looking at James, who kept his eyes dispassionately on the sail, or glanced now and then for a second at the horizon, "You're not exposed to it, to this pressure and division of feeling, this extraordinary temptation." Her father was feeling in his pockets. In another second, he would have found his book, for no one attracted her more. His hands were beautiful to her, and his feet, and his voice, and his words, and his haste, and his temper, and his oddity, and his passion, and his saying straight out before everyone, "We perish each alone," and his remoteness. He had opened his book, though it remained intolerable, she thought, sitting upright and watching McAllister's boy tug the hook out of the grills of another fish. Was that crass blindness and tyranny of his which had poisoned her childhood and raised bitter storms, so that even now she woke in the night trembling with rage, and remembered some command of his, some insolence? Do this, do that, his dominance, his submit to me. So she said nothing, but looked doggedly and sadly at the shore, wrapped in its mantle of peace, as if the people there had fallen asleep. She thought, "We're free like smoke, we're free to come and go like ghosts. Have no suffering there," she thought. And now our time is complete. Thank you for being here. You are safe, you are calm, and you are enough. Until next time, stay hydrated and rest well.